Hi everyone, welcome to day 4 of our weather and worm week with our W letters worm and weather. Now I'm going to show you and review our clouds and our weather that we've been working on, but I'm also going to introduce you to, I have a special guest today. I brought a worm and I put him in a worm observatory so that we can look closely as he worms his way around. And then after this video, I'm going to take him and I'm going to put him outside. There's some other little critters in here too. I have tiny little centipedes and roly-polies, and can you see even a little baby slug in there? So I'll show you how you can make your own bug observatory later too. But first, let's look at our weather chart. Today during our class, we looked at the day, which was Thursday. We had Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And today I put a little bit of sun and a little bit of clouds because when I woke up, there was sun. And now I look out there and it looks like it's getting cloudy. Again, another day like this, sun and clouds. I made a guess. I predicted that it might rain tomorrow. Just because it's so cloudy out today, I thought maybe it'll get more cloudy tomorrow and even bring some rain because we have some of those stratus clouds out there. So there it is, our weather chart for today. And tomorrow will be our last day for that. Now we have our weather chart and we have our weather breath, and we breathe in and we fill our cheeks up with air and we breathe out, and then we breathe in again, and then we make that rainfall sound. Can you do that with me? Make it rain all the way to the end. Now let's sing our rain song. Ready? When the rain comes down on everyone. When the rain comes down on everyone. Rich and poor, great and small. It really doesn't matter at all. It really doesn't matter at all. It's our rain song from Africa, where it doesn't rain very often. Now here is my scarf, and I like to make my 3 kinds of clouds. I start by making a big fluffy cumulus cloud fluffing across the sky. And then I make the cirrus cloud that zips across the sky. It just looks like it's flying across. Oh my goodness. That scares Colby when I make the cirrus cloud. He starts jipping around in there. And then we know the stratus cloud is a layer, and it covers up the sun. And it covers it up so you can't really see the sun anymore. And if you have a stratus cloud that's very low to the ground, you remember what it's called? Fog. It's called fog. I'm going to put this on. I'm going to wear my cloud scarf today from my brother in Istanbul. Now I want to show you my worms. They're in here, wiggling around. And what I have today are worms, roly-poly potato bugs, a slug, and I put them in this little box. You could use any little plastic container. I even just had like a piece of plastic like this that I thought I could use. But I like the way this kind of keeps them inside a little bit. And what I thought would be a good way to observe them is putting them right in the middle, and I can look at them from the bottom. I really like watching the bugs, like a roly-poly or a centipede, or the worms move from below, because you can see how their body works. The roly-polies have so many legs that they just one goes. Somehow they're able to move and not trip on each other. But guess what? Worms, you probably know this, they don't have legs. And they also don't have teeth. So when you pick up a wriggly worm, it's okay because it can't bite you. And they just wiggle. See? And they just wiggle around. And they're just maybe a little bit slimy, but they can't hurt you. Oh my goodness. This one, he's worming his way out. Hello there, worm. Hello. Oh, he'll be okay. Now, it's hard to tell, but there are fronts to the worms and backs to the worms. They have heads, and then they have their anus and where their poop comes out the back. Not really like a tail. Where'd he go? Let's see if I can make you see. There he is. Do you see how his body, the front moves and stretches, and then the back scooches up along? And the front stretches, and then the back scooches up along. Oh, he even made it over that big line. The front stretches, and the back scooches along. There he goes, the worm. Across my table. I'm going to put him back in the worm observatory. Come here, little guy. I'll pick you up so gently and put you back over there. And then later today, I'm going to put him back outside in my garden. That's where I found him. So the worms, they don't have any teeth, but they do eat. So here's their mouth. And they have a lot of different muscles inside their bodies that help with the food. When they get the food in their mouth and they don't have teeth, they crush, 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 smoosh, smoosh, smoosh. There's a lot of little muscles that work like this esophagus where it goes down, and their pharynx, and their crop, and their gizzard, even their intestines. Those are all different organs inside their body that mooshes and smooshes up the food so that they can digest it. That means they can use the food for energy, and then the rest is poop. And it comes out the anus down here. And here's something you might not know. Farmers and gardeners love worm poop. If they have worms in their soil, they're very happy because worms take the old, dry, dead things and eat it. And when it mixes through their body, it makes it all smooshy and gooshy, and it helps the soil. It almost feeds the soil. Some farmers even buy worm castings so that that worm poop, which is what it is, will put in their soil, and it will help the soil microbial, the little tiny, tiny critters inside the soil, be healthier. Isn't that cool? So worms are like super duper helpers. And if you see them in the soil, it means that soil is really healthy and that they're helping make it that way. This is the other part I love about worms. They don't have any teeth, so they can't bite. And they have 4 hearts. How many hearts do you have? 1. But the worm has 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Close up into his head. And he even has a tiny little worm brain. That's all part of his body. I emailed your parents this so you can make a copy and look at the worm for yourself. And you could even get a real worm and look at it and see if you can see where the top is, where the bottom is, where the little layers are inside his body. I have my worm on my worm paper. Here you go, buddy. You go back in your observatory. He doesn't really have the food that he needs to live in there, so I do need to put him back outside so that he can be safer and healthier outside. Now I'm going to read to you Puddles, and it's a book that has puddles, rain, weather, and even worms inside it. Are you ready? Put your listening ears on. This is Puddles. All night, the slash and the crash and the flash of lightning and the kaboom. Oh, what makes that sound? Kaboom. Of thunder. Rattling the house and all the windows. We cuddle between fright and glee and want it to stop and never stop. In the morning it does, like a curtain rising on a fresh new day. Oh, we put on our boots and we walk outside to the sweet chatter of birds filling the trees, and we breathe in the deep air. Watch out for puddles, Mama hollers, don't get wet. Guess what's going to happen? Needles listen and glisten. The drip, drip, drip from the eaves and the leaves. Look, the sparkle of a million suns on a million drops. We follow baby rivers, snaking through, trickling down the ditches and fields. Puddles, big ones, little ones, tall ones, skinny ones, pieces of sky on the ground. It's time to puddle jump, splash, splash, splash. Mud sucks at our boots. Slurp, slurp, slurp. I love this book so much, it's falling apart. I need to fix that. And we kneel and watch the worms. Here they are. Squirm and stretch and leave tiny trails. They're leaving tiny trails behind them in the mud. They're learning the ABCs of weather, of rain and sun and mud. They're watching them. I'm going to do some worm writing with you after the book. Then we slog down through the grass toward the pond and what lives there, celebrating all the new water and new life. At the pond, it's time for the frogs to play. Leap, frog, leap. Leap, frog, leap. Hop, frog, plop. Oh no, he fell. Birds flap from the trees. Oh, he's all wet. And we think the trees are applauding. We bow and say, bye, frogs, and turn toward home. Puddles, big ones, little ones, long ones, skinny ones, pieces of sky on the ground. It's time to puddle jump again. We hit every puddle from the pond to the meadow. Splash, splash, splash. We slog through the wet grass, and it sucks our boots. Slop, slop, slop. Skip beneath the leaves and the eaves. Oh, look at the worm watching them. Drip, drip, drip. And we drip into the doorway shouting, we're home. And Mommy yells, you're wet. Remember she told him, don't get wet, watch for puddles. On a morning after rain, it's time to soak in a hot bath, wiggle dry in our warm towels, get dressed, and drink hot chocolate. Yum. And then run outside again. Oh no. To puddle jump. Splash, splash, splash. You're going to puddle jump again. Get all wet. Does that mean they get another drink of hot chocolate? That'd be a good deal. Every time you go outside to play, you come back in and get hot chocolate. Deal. I love both of those things. Now, I'm going to show you some worm writing. So you can get a piece of paper like this. And on this side, I made letters. So you could have a big person help you write your letters, or you could try to write them yourself. You could write some of the letters in your name and try to write them pretty big. And you can write maybe a W for worms and weather, or a C for clouds, or an S for slimy worm, and an A. That's for Miss Annie. That's my favorite vowel. W, K, S, A. That doesn't make a word. Those are just letters to practice. So you can put that flat on your table, and then you get a fuzzy stick like this, or you could get a piece of yarn, and if you really want to, you can even wet that piece of yarn. That makes it a little slimier, like the worm. And you can take it and you lay it on the letter. I'll show you how I have that on the letter like this. And I'm going to bend it so that I can trace. Do you see how my worm is going to trace the letter? And here, if I have two hands, it works even better. I can make the letter W. Here it is, W. And then I can trace another letter over on my paper. I'll show you like this time. And I can trace around it using my pipe cleaner. I use my pipe cleaner and I trace around. Now I have C. And then I can trace S. Now that's a little longer. It might take my whole pipe cleaner. I kind of hold it and bend it and bend it. Almost like I'm training the worm. It works really nice with some slimy yarn too, because that makes it kind of stick on the paper even better. Here's an S I traced on there, and then the A you could try too. So that's my worm writing. This is my little fuzzy stick worm today. You can try that at home with different letters like this. I think making it wet makes it a little more fun. The wet yarn, a little bit sticky and slimy. Well, we're going to say goodbye to these worms. We're going to put them back outside. Tomorrow I'm going to get some other worm friends to look at. You can get a plastic container like that and check out some of that worm walking along. Tiny, tiny little worms and slugs and roly-poly potato bugs. I want to sing one more song with you today. I want to sing If All of the Raindrops Were Lemon Drops and Gumdrops, because that's just such a silly song. Will you sing that with me? If all of the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be. I'd stand outside with my mouth open wide going, ah, 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 ah. If all of the raindrops were lemon drops and gumdrops, oh, what a rain that would be. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you go out. I hope you find some worms before it rains, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.